So often when I open this microphone to begin the podcast, I often, wonder exactly what I'm going to focus on. And of course, it's always going to be around individual giving. This time, I want to share some great news with you about giving trends with individuals and how the trajectory is actually getting so much better. That is our focus in this episode. Let's huddle up. Hey, welcome to another episode of Huddle Up with Mark, the Fund Coach. I'm Mark Duncan. If you don't know me by now, or haven't been in a workshop with me, or haven't been on a strategy session with me, or if you're not a current client or past client, if you're not any of those, then you don't know this about me. And that is, I get very, very excited around this time of year in the month of June because it is the time that the Giving USA annual report is released for the previous year in giving. So we are in June of 2025. And so the data that I share often in many of my workshops has been from 2023 because that's the most complete year that we had until now. Now we have 2024's data as it relates to fundraising. And Giving USA, by the way, is a great resource. I'm a subscriber to it. I would certainly recommend that you consider subscribing to that if you are interested in learning about the trends and anything related to philanthropy over the course of year to year. It gives you national data. It does not give you regional or state data. They don't have that kind of information. In other words, they're getting everything that's happening in the United States. They just can't break it down via state or region. But today, I want to share with you a couple of highlights that I think are very, very much worthy of noting, and hopefully will give you a sense of where things are heading. So, back in 2023, and of course, I always talk about the percentage of giving coming from individuals. And when you include bequests, it's over 70% of all giving is coming from individuals. And straight gifts is somewhere around 66%. Of all giving is coming from individuals, and there's another 8% that comes through bequests. And bequests are hard to strategize for because it's hard to strategize for when somebody actually, passes away, and when those dollars are actually realized. But in 2023, which was the prior year, if you look at giving overall, $557 billion was given to U.S. charities in 2023. And that's from all aspects, from individuals, from corporations, from grants, meaning foundations, as well as bequests. When you look at the data from 2024, and you look at the so $557 billion, of that $557 billion in 2023, $374 billion, 374.4 to be exact, came from individual giving. Okay. 374.4 billion in 2023 of an overall giving of 557 billion. So again, that's the 67% that I'm talking about. But when we look at 2024, when you take into account everything that is happening right now, and some of this could have been taking place in 2024, I'm very, very encouraged. I'm very, very encouraged. When you take a look, and again, this is according to Giving USA, When you take a look at individual giving, well, when you take a look overall philanthropic support in 2024, there's an increase. It jumped from 557 billion to 592 billion. We're almost at 600 billion dollars in philanthropy in 2024. So you're sitting here and you're listening to this, you're watching this, and you're thinking, there's so much lack and scarcity and concern about whether or not you can raise enough money for your organization. This number continues to go up year after year. Does it pace with inflation? Not necessarily over the long haul. But when we're comparing last year from 2023 to 2024, we see a significant increase. But here's the true highlight. Here's the little nugget that gets me very, very excited about this information. I mentioned that in 2023, $374 billion of the $557 billion came from individuals. Of the the $592 billion that was given in 2025 or 2024 rather, $392.45 billion came from individuals. That is an 88.2% increase, and overall an $18 billion increase just in individual giving. Let me repeat that for you. Yes, if you hear and can see the excitement, it is true. $18 billion increase from 2023 to 2024 in individual giving, 8.2%. That's a large jump. That's a large jump. And I'm going to venture to say that in the year that we're sitting in right now, that we're going to, a year from now, when we look at 2025's data, I think we're going to be just as pleasantly surprised because individuals step up. See, with everything that is happening right now, we have a tendency, especially if we're mired in it, and it's very easy to be mired in the news about federal funding or just generally speaking about the state of our union. And I'm not talking from the federal perspective, just from a human perspective, the state of our union, right? But I'm encouraged because at the core of all of this are good people who have capacity and who will step up and support organizations when they have been asked. And that includes being asked transactionally through email or direct mail or social media to relationally. And that's face to face through a relationship. You know, the person that is sitting across from you has link, interest, and ability, especially the capacity to give in a significant way. You do all the right things, make the case, make the ask, close the deal. Then you're going to see your philanthropic support increase. See, individuals are resilient. Individual givers respond when presented with the opportunity to do so, to give to your organization. So if you're sitting there, you're driving, you're listening to this, you're watching this on YouTube, and you sort of have this sort of bleak view of perhaps how things are going with your organization. Oh my gosh, I don't know if we're going to be able to raise the money that we need to raise. Some of that, and if you really think about it, could be coming from the backdrop that is set for us when we engage in news, media, and it could be on social media, it could be television. Hate to say the word radio, but radio, and any other form in which you consume news about what's happening in the world. And it does not reflect the spirit of human beings who are generous. And the data tells us that every year. Looking at this data, seeing an 8.2% increase in individual giving, in light of all that is going on right now, doesn't surprise me. My excitement is that I actually have this information to share with you, thanks to Giving USA. And it's just exciting to me. I hope it is exciting to you. I hope that everything that you hear me talk about as it relates to individual giving resonates with you, because the outcome is what you're striving for. And the outcome is what helps you do more for the people that you serve. When you have more resources, you can do more. When you paint a picture of what you want to accomplish and how you want to serve the people that you serve, and you have a strong case that you can create a solicitation or an ask around, you'll get those dollars from those individuals who want to make a difference. But if you think that people are just going to show up and give because you're doing good work and they just are going to happen upon your site, or you're seeing other organizations generating more philanthropic support, and you're asking yourself, why not us? Having that, what I call it, philanthropy FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. What are you missing out on? What are you doing wrong? What should you be doing differently? I'll tell you, you need to first believe that what you're doing for the people that you serve is the right thing to do. And I know you know that. And there are people that have been giving to your organization, and perhaps without you directly asking them personally, that if you present them with the opportunity through building a trusting relationship, they will step up and do more. So I hope that this is encouraging to you, especially at this time. I believe in the human spirit. I believe in human generosity. And I believe that we, just as natural beings, want to make a difference. We want to help. We want to see lives change, whether it's through human services or through information or through the arts or through education or through faith based organizations. All of you are here to make a difference in the lives of the people that you serve, however you do that. I'm encouraging you now to step boldly into that. Brag. Yes. It is okay to brag about the good work that you're doing to those people who have capacity to help you do more. See, the spirit in which you lean into this is also going to be the spirit in which individuals will respond to. So if you start building these relationships and start talking about the work that you're doing with excitement and joy and optimism, that is only going to spread to the person that you're talking to. It's contagious. And you, as an organization, can also see an 8.2% increase in giving. Now, before I wrap up, I do think that it's important to note that if you're an organization that is engaging in what I call lopsided fundraising, in other words, 40%, 50%, 60% of your operating budget is coming from grants, and it could be private grants, federal grants, or a combination of the two. It's something that you're going to want to get away from. I'm not saying that you want to reduce the amount of money that you're receiving, but understand that it's not sustainable. If you can get to 66% of your philanthropy, not your overall revenue, but of your philanthropy, if you are an organization that has or acquires revenue through other means, you should be aiming for 66% of your fundraising coming from individuals. And then about 19-20% perhaps coming from foundations or federal. Once you get to 30%, and I've said this before, you are at risk. 30% or more, your funding coming from grants, whether they're private or federal, that is not sustainable, because one of those hits can be a huge, if you could, in other words, if you lose one of those sources, that could be a significant hit to your bottom line. Whereas if you lose a donor, you're not going to feel that as much, because it's about the critical mass. And then more importantly, it's also about you leaning into those relationships with people who have capacity. Because maintaining those relationships is what's going to make this sustainable. So I'm excited. I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about the now. And I hope you are too. I'm going to leave the link below, if you're watching this on YouTube, to for the Giving USA website, where you can actually go on and I think you can purchase the entire report, and download it. I'm a member. That's the way I get it. But I would encourage you to understand philanthropy across the board. And you should be aiming to mirror what happens nationally inside of your own organization, if that's feasible. Some organizations that may not be realistic, but for the majority of you, it probably is. So I really hope this is helpful. I hope that my excitement at least piques your interest in learning more about this data around philanthropy, and to see an $18 billion increase in 1 year in individual giving, representing 8.2% increase. It's exciting to me. It means bigger gifts, more people, more impact, and most importantly, and as I always say, this fundraising thing, it's never about the dollars. It's about what the dollars do for the people that you serve. Thanks. And I'll see you next time. Hey, are you a nonprofit leader that needs to generate more philanthropic support for your organization? And you have heard me time and time again talk about the importance of individual giving, especially major gifts from individuals who have capacity. Well, I have created the Relationship Fundraising Academy just for you. The Relationship Fundraising Academy is a community membership program that is designed to help anyone who is interested in leveling up their fundraising to learn how to secure those major gifts. Here's what you get. You get access to my Relationship Fundraising Master Course. That course consists of 7 modules of about 30 training videos that will teach you everything you need to know about how to secure significant gifts from wealthy individuals. You'll also understand the importance of building a strong culture of philanthropy. You'll understand your board's role in relationship fundraising. You'll also understand how to master your message in such a way that you will understand your donors' fundraising love language. So, if this sounds like something that you're interested in, for just $79 a month, you can have access to all of that, plus a community of individuals just like you, and you get to participate in a Q&A call with me live once a month, and I will answer every question that you have about how you can next level your fundraising. So if this sounds like something you're interested, go to thefundcoach.com. The top of the page, you will see the Relationship Fundraising Academy. You can also click the link below. I'll see you there.